Hi everybody. Here we have another Warhammer Armies book. It's the Dark Elf book. You can see here. We have the murder ladies on the front there. Psycho killers, basically. And we got the lizard riders. Alright, let's just kind of delve into this thing. Alright, so here in the front cover and the back cover, we have some good picturesque miniatures. Another Jervis Johnson. Yep. Contents. And we have a really cool front picture. Right there. Introduction. History of the Dark Elves. Where they came from. And we have the bloody-handed god, Cain. Yep. Blighted Isles and the Sword of Cain. The Black Arcs. A little bit more history. Underworld. Pretty interesting little bit of history if you're into the fluff stuff. If some people are. Some are not. Then we have the timeline. It's like the schism between the High Elves and Dark Elves. The basic war between the two of them. A little bit of story. And some interesting little bit of stuff about their war machines. You have the repeating bolt thrower. That's information on how it works. No, it's very useful for taking down big things and little things, actually. Then we have the Witch Elf Cauldron of Blood. I never did pick up that miniature. I made one. There's one that built one. You know, it's like I took a what is it? Some wagon wheels and stuff like that. I converted one into a Cauldron of Blood, and it was, I guess, about 2 years ago. I had the thing out, and I decided to toss it. Don't know why. I just was like, had enough of it. I was like, I'll never be playing fantasy ever again. It'll never get used. And now I'm thinking about going back into fantasy. It's a fickle thing. And we have the different warriors, Harpies. I have a bunch of Harpies that I use the Raupartha ones instead. Black Corsairs, Dark Elf Crossbowmen, Black Guard, their halberds, City, Dark Elf Repeating Crossbowmen. You can lay down a bit of fire on their opponent. Go through them. We got the Cold One Riders. There are many different forms. Dark Riders, Witch Elves. If you remember, it's been maybe a year or two ago. I can't remember when it was. With one of the old hammer painting challenges I did. I did a bunch of, finished up some of my Witch Elves I had started. Got them done. Spearman Regiment, Warrior Regiment. Then you got your different banners that you can have. Basically, you sit down and you just scan them and print them out. Alright, here we got now they're finally getting into the colorized maps. All the other ones we've had have been all black and white. Here we finally get a color one. You can see over here, this is where the High Elf Island is, right there. And up there in the coal areas. It's supposed to be like North America, maybe. Hard to say. I always say that fantasy is a reflection of Earth in the eye of Terra. Terror. Yeah. Terra in the eye of terror. That's how I always look at it. It's kind of a mirror world with all the winds of chaos and stuff, winds of magic. Yeah, some more cards. Came out in that one, the second box set for all of them. We had the Beastery. We got the Dark Elf Warriors. Dark Elf Obedience Test. Are you a follower of Cain? No, then die. The Sorcerers. The Black Ark Corsairs. Dark Riders and their steeds. Witch Elves. Crazed Lunatics. Running around, killing everything. Executioners. Scouts. The story. Then we have the Assassins. Dark Elf Assassins. Jump out and dice and slice everything. Cold Ones. Cold One Riders, basically. And you got your Harpies. Hydras. Mustoid. Yeah, if you have a Hydra, you have to bring it for the Dark Elves. Malekith, the Witch King. Army lists. Basically telling you how you're supposed to build your army. What are your maximum number of items you can have with your different units. And here you got your army selections. And the maximum you can have up to 50%. This was a game, it's kind of like a Hero Hammer editions early. Heroes made up everything. And you had a minimum requirement, 25% of your army has to be regiments, minimum. And up to 50% can be characters, up to 25% war machines, up to 25% monsters, and up to 25% are allies. And allies for the Witch Elves / Dark Elves. Allied troops can be following: Chaos, Undead, Orcs, and Goblins. Typically, it was always Chaos. Bring Chaos with you. I always use my Witch Elves were always, or not my Witch Elves, but Dark Elves were always allies for like my Undead armies or my Chaos. Bring a few regiments in just to supplement them. Alright, so we got your champions, and here's your basic regiments. Cold One Riders, Dark Rider, Executioners. You can have one unit of Executioners. I don't have any Executioners. And then we have the Black Guard, one unit of them. Then we have Elf Crossbowmen, Dark Elf Warriors, City Guard, Witch Elves. Those were like the mainstay of my army. And monsters and war machines. Dark Elf Spearmen, Harpies. Always brought some Harpies. Those were kind of your, for the army. They're a little more expensive than your normal warriors, but you know, they had flight, so you could get them over top of and back into your enemy war machines and take them down. Alright, so we had the Cauldron of Blood and a Repeating Bolt Thrower. That was I have a couple of those. And I had made one of these just to have around. And your basic monsters, you get Hydras, Chimeras, Cockatrice, Dark Pegasi, Dragons, Scorpions, Giant Scorpion, Spiders, griffins, hippogriffs, manticores, wyverns, and swarms. Wyverns, I've heard it pronounced like many different ways. Alright, then we have the Witch King, 350 points. Never seen a battle. Too expensive. You have to have a big game. Alright, so then we have the different other characters in here. And it's like your basic tactics, missile fire, shock troops, telling you who's the best for shock troops. I always found that you lay down your missile troops would lay down a good barrage, and then you hammer them on the flanks with like your cold one riders and Harpies, and then your light troops would be like your. I always find that the Witch Elves were. I always considered them light troops. They didn't have armor. And you could always toss in an assassin that would come in and hammer things. Alright, and we got a basic battle setup type. Just telling you some basic information. And you can always color your own banners. And advertising for all the different books that are possible. How to collect it. Hey, if you haven't bought these, buy them now. Type of deal. And we got a roster, basic army. Lots of advertising in the back here. And your final picture in the back, your little castle, a little battle with the Empire right there. Hey, almost looks like my army. Almost. I never did finish mine. And the back page. So that is a little bit of walk through the Warhammer Armies for the Dark Elves. So an interesting little army. Wish I put a little more effort into my army. And maybe you'll see some more of them coming sooner or later. Maybe I'll do an army on parade. But that is it. Hope you guys like it. Like and subscribe. Share with your friends. And we'll see you in the next one. Elk Rex out.